You all are so highly welcome to my tutorial for today. How are you? How is your business and your family? I hope everything is well set. With that, I say once again, welcome to my tutorial. If you are new, this is the Needle Woman. Today, quickly, we are going to be making a beautiful front overlap skirt. And I have here about 2 and few inches yards of Ankara fabric. We are going to be doing justice to that skirt using this very fabric. All right, so let's quickly get started. I'll be cutting the back first of all. So I'll just fold into two, bring out my zipper allowance and get on with it. Okay, so here is the fold. My measurement is starting from this line here. This is my hip line. So the first one is serving as my waistline. This is a little bit above my knee where the fitting will come in. And then we have here the length of my skirt. All right, I'll just place my waist and hip measurement. Waist is 32 inches. Divided into 4 will give us 8. I'll be adding 2 inches allowance. One for that and one for seam allowance. Hip is 40 into 4 is 10. I also have 1.5 inches, which is leaving us at this fold. Okay, so I'll connect my waist to my hip first of all, and then at this, now our hip measurement is here at this fold, so it's safe to say that if we were to bring this hip measurement down here, it will still be at this fold as well. Okay, so I'll just take about 1 inch inwards. I just want to give it a little fitting. 1 inch inwards. Okay, having done that, I'll also continue with the hip measurement. Again, don't get it confused. The hip measurement ended at this fold. Okay, so we are supposed, assuming we had extra fabric, we are supposed to bring down the hip measurement down to the hemline and then begin to remove this 1 inch here. I hope you get it. But since we're not having enough and it is at the edge here, we want to assume that we already brought down the hip measurement here, which is at the edge. Okay, so now having moved in by 1 inch here, I'll still continue to make sure I get to the edge this way. I hope you understood what I did. Here is my hip measurement. Here also is my hip measurement. But at this a little bit above the knee, I removed 1 inch from my hip measurement. I hope it's clear enough. Now my zipper allowance is just 1 inch. This particular skirt, there is no slit at the back because the slit is already at the front. So now having done this, I'll quickly cut it away. Okay, I'm matching the actual length of our skirt, both sides. Okay, so this is the back panel. We'll now quickly go over to the front panel. Okay, so quickly for the front, as we've cut the back, we're going to be dividing the remaining half of our body measurement into 3. That's for the front, because the front is going to be 3 pieces. Okay, so now The hip measurement I'm working with is 40. We're going to be dividing it. Already we divided back is into 2. This is it. So the front is going to be into 2 again, making everything all together into 4. I hope I'm not confusing you. Okay, the back measurement we divided the body measurement into 4, and since we have 2 pieces, it means it's into 2. I hope it's clear. Okay, so for the front also, this is into 2. So 40 inches hip measurement, half of it is 20. So the front, it means we are working with 20 inches. So that 20 inches we are going to be dividing into 3. I hope it's clear enough now. And if we do that, we will have 6.7, approximately 7 inches. Okay, so I'll be adding 1 inch or 1.5 inches to the 7 inches. I hope it's clear enough. Okay, so I'll fold my fabric again. What I'm cutting here right now is the 2 sides. Okay, the 2 sides. First, I'll use this one to make sure I get this curve up to this point, and then the rest of it I will then remove it and continue my work. Okay, the essence of putting this is just to make use of these markings here, nothing more, please. Okay, so I'm putting the back away now. Now for the front, we said 20 into 3 will give us 6.7, and I approximated it to 7 inches. And then I said I was going to be putting 1.5 inches as seam allowance. So 7 inches here, 1.5 inches is 8.5 inches, which is here. I hope you get that. This is going to be at the front. So I'll use my big ruler to just roll it down. Okay, so this is what we have. I hope you remember that already we have our seam allowance added. That was the 1.5 inches I added to the hip measurement. Okay, so I will cut now. Alright, so this is for the 2 sides. What is left now is the center front. So I'll keep this one aside. Okay, so for the center front, I made another fold. This marking here, like we all know, is few inches above the knee. That's for the fitting. We put it at the back panel, put it at the 2 sides, 2 front sides. We're also putting it at the center front. And then for this place, it is 7 inches. The hemline also here is 7 inches as well. Okay, I used 7 inches because of the waist I'm working with. Okay, now normally our dart is supposed to be 4 inches, which is here, and then 1/2 inch for sewing, 4.5, which is here. Okay, but then the upper part needs to extend a little bit away from the dart. Okay, so that's why I used 7 inches. Okay, but if it's too big for you, if you don't want it that wide, you can still shorten your own, say like 6 inches, so that by the time you do your lining it would remain 5.5 inches or thereabout. So let's just say we are using 6 inches, which is here. Okay, now at this center as well, we are going to be making use of 5 inches, which is here, and then at the hemline we'll be using the whole of the 7 inches. I hope you get it. So here we'll be using 7 inches. So with my ruler I will connect to this place. I hope by now you should understand what I'm trying to do, and then connect to the upper part. Okay. Okay. Now you see the reason why I wanted to use 7 inches, so that this place will be obviously wide, and then as you get to this knee side it caves in a little bit and then continues to open again. I hope you see, but you can still use this one. I'll still be working with this one. So quickly I will cut this one as well. This is for the center front. Okay, I hope you see, this is for the center front. I will also notch the exact length of our skirt. Having done that, I will put the notch. The next thing will be to cut. Use this lace fabric to cut the facing for it. Okay. Now, if you want here to go inside more, you are free. Remember, on fold it was 5 inches, so you have 10 inches here. If you want it to go in more, you can still shape in your own. Now, having done this, I will just cut the lining for both the front and the back, and then begin lining them separately. Each of them has its own separate lining. I will start from the lower part. I will sew here, fold, and then sew the two sides. Only the waistline will be left open for both the front and the back. So this is the skirt center. I mean the front, the one at the center. I will now go ahead and line it. As for the others, I've completed the lining. Okay, so I just needed for you to know that I attached the lace fabric first before I did my lining. Okay, so here is the center piece well lined. Okay, then for the back I've joined them. I have put my dart. I also attached my zipper. Okay, so the back is all set. And then for the front, this is how we are going to be doing it. Okay, this one, there's going to be a space at the center like this. Okay, so when you spread it out this way, you make sure you have your hip measurement and few inches as sewing allowance. Your hip measurement, mine is 20, so I have enough of it here. Okay, so leaving it this way, I will now place this one on top. Okay, so it's going to sit this way. Okay, I'm going to use my pin to hold it up to this fitting point. Okay, for this front I did not put that, please, there's no dart at the front here, I only put that at the back. So I'll use my pin now to hold it firmly up to this fitting point. Okay, so you should have something like this when you are done. Okay, so I will now sew along this line to the fitting point, and then the rest of it will be left open. Okay, so that when you are working it's opening but it is not exposed. All right, so next will be to join the back to the front, and lastly I will now tape this upper part. Remember, for this lower part I will remove half an inch from the midpoint. Let me show you what I mean. For this front, I'm going to be removing half an inch or 1 inch this way. I hope you understood it. This way. I don't know which chalk you see better. Okay, so before I do the taping, you either remove half an inch or you remove 1 inch. Okay, so I will now join the back to the front and then tape the neck, the waistline, and that will be all. Okay, so the waist should be looking this way, a little bit curvy, right? Okay, so as you can see, we are done with our tutorial for today. I've taped the waist line and I hope you see how beautiful it is. Go ahead and give it a try on your own, and I bet you are going to so love it. Till we meet in my next tutorial, please take care of yourself and be innovative, and don't forget to always be nice to people around you. I love you from the bottom of my heart, and if this tutorial has been helpful to you in any way, please give us your thumbs up. If you are yet to subscribe, please hit the red icon to do that. And to my existing subscribers, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate all of you. Bye.